What if I told you that forests could talk not in a language we speak, but in signals passed through the soil, in silent exchanges beneath our feet, in whispers carried on the breeze? Beneath every forest lies a vast, hidden network of mycorrhizal fungi thread-like filaments that link the roots of trees in a cooperative underground web. Scientists call it the wood wide web, and it functions as the forest's communication system, enabling trees to exchange nutrients, water, and even information. When one tree is attacked by insects or disease, it sends out chemical distress signals through this network, warning its neighbors to prepare their defenses. Older, more established trees, often called mother trees, have even been observed nourishing younger saplings, passing them carbon and nitrogen to help them grow in the shade. It's a breathtaking idea that trees aren't solitary, passive organisms, but members of a living, social network, collaborating and supporting one another for the greater good of the forest. And it doesn't end underground. Above, the trees speak too, through chemistry and subtle movement. Leaves, when bitten by herbivores, release airborne compounds that travel on the wind, alerting nearby trees to the threat. These nearby trees then begin producing bitter or toxic compounds in their leaves, becoming less palatable to attackers. It's as if the trees are whispering, "Get ready, they're coming," and even their structure reveals this intelligence. Have you ever looked up into a forest canopy and noticed the gaps between treetops, like pieces of a puzzle that almost, but don't quite fit? That phenomenon is called crown shyness. Scientists believe trees deliberately avoid touching each other's branches, possibly to reduce the spread of harmful insects, fungi, or physical damage from high winds. These gaps in the canopy are evidence that trees can sense their surroundings and choose how they grow in relation to one another. A forest, then, is not a random collection of trees. It's a finely tuned system of cooperation, communication, and balance. As the seasons pass, forests become living timekeepers. In spring, they awaken, buds unfold, birds return, insects buzz back to life. In summer, the forest is a riot of activity. Leaves photosynthesizing at full speed, animals gathering food, everything bathed in green. Autumn transforms the forest into a canvas of gold, crimson, and orange as chlorophyll fades and other pigments shine through. Then winter comes, stripping the trees bare, drawing life inward, preparing in silence for the next cycle. But even in stillness, the forest is never dead. Beneath the snow or fallen leaves, the roots continue to pulse, the fungi still reach, and life waits patiently to bloom again. Even death here is never wasted. Fallen trees become nurse logs, slowly decomposing, feeding mosses, fungi, beetles, and eventually the next generation of trees. One tree's end becomes the beginning of 1,000 lives. Animals, too, are more than just inhabitants. They are co-creators of the forest. Take squirrels, for example. As they bury nuts to store for winter, many of those seeds are forgotten, sprouting into new trees. Woodpeckers stash acorns in the bark of hundreds of trees, not all of which are retrieved. Some birds, like the Clark's nutcracker, hide tens of thousands of pine seeds across mountain forests, unwittingly planting entire groves. Then there are the predators. When wolves were reintroduced to Yellowstone National Park, they did far more than manage the deer population. They changed the way deer moved, avoiding certain riverbanks where they were vulnerable. This allowed willows and aspens to regrow, which attracted beavers, which built dams that altered waterways and created new habitats. Even the rivers themselves began to shift. This incredible chain reaction is known as a trophic cascade. a ripple through the ecosystem that starts with a single species and transforms everything. The forest, it turns out, is a delicate balance of forces, each dependent on the other, each playing a role in the larger symphony of life. And what about us? We walk into forests for peace, for clarity, for something we can't quite describe. Studies show that just 10 minutes in a forest can reduce blood pressure, lower stress hormones, and increase feelings of calm and happiness. The Japanese call it shinrin, yoku, or forest bathing, not exercise, not hiking, just being present in nature. Trees release chemicals called phytoncides that boost our immune systems. The sound of rustling leaves lowers anxiety. The scent of pine sharpens focus. We don't just benefit from forests, we belong to them. Our lungs were made for this air. Our brains were shaped in this quiet. We're not visitors here. We're family, and yet we often forget. We bulldoze old, growth forests to make room for roads or farmland, disrupting ecosystems that took centuries to form. We see trees as lumber, land as property, nature as something outside ourselves. But the more we learn, the clearer it becomes. Forests are not just a resource. They are teachers. They are caretakers. They are storytellers whispering old wisdom in the creak of a branch, in the flutter of a leaf, in the quiet between bird calls. Every root, every insect, every drop of rain has a part in this story, and so do we. So the next time you step into a forest, stop. Close your eyes. Listen not just for birdsong, but for something deeper, the hum of life connecting all things. Feel the soil, smell the air, let the light move through the leaves and into you. You are not just walking through trees. You are walking through memory, through wisdom, through a living, breathing network older than any city, older than most mountains. The forest sees you, the forest remembers, and if you listen closely, it might just speak to you.